Picture this. You're a woman. You just got off of work. It's late. It's dark. It's summer, so it's relatively warm out. You're walking down a dark alleyway to get to your car so you can head home. You see a shady figure in the shadows, but you're not quite sure who they are and what they're doing. As you walk by, they turn around and begin to follow you. You don't think much of it, as they could be going in a similar direction. Could have had a phone call. But that's when they catch up to you. You can hear their breath, feel it on the back of your neck. You panic. Your heart starts to race. You speed up, but so do they, to the point where you're both practically running. You feel an arm reach out and grab you from behind. They turn you around to face them. What are you going to do? You only have so long before whatever maniacal deed they have planned is done. That's why you always carry a firearm, because a little pistol in your purse could change the tides of battle to suit you. And that's why guns are the true equalizer. And that is why I believe that every citizen in America should own a firearm of some kind. Preferably a handgun, as they're smaller and easier to carry. Now then, hello, I'm Zachary Swingle, and I am doing a video for my public speaking class about guns in America. Now, sorry about the kind of eerie intro, but I had to catch your attention. If you didn't know, not all 100% of Americans own a firearm. As a matter of fact, it's closer to 49%. Though, Americans do own more firearms than there are people to own them in the United States. There is about 392 million firearms owned and registered in the United States. That doesn't account for handmade or other sorts. But according to the site that I recently went to, there is approximately 352 million Americans. And considering that about 49% of Americans own a firearm of some sort, that means that half of that 350 million own the 392 million firearms. And of that demographic, about 30% of the 49, about 30% of the 49% that said they owned a firearm were women. It's a very, very small number. So, firearms are mostly owned by men. Women, not so much. But of the women, most of them owned handguns or shotguns. Men were rifles, assault rifles, machine guns, etc. Now, of that 49%, it is not guaranteed that they are all non-felons. It's difficult to keep handguns and other firearms out of the hands of people that don't need them, but a pocket knife really isn't too much different from a gun. In essence, it's a weapon. Just like this rifle here. I suppose you could say a rifle shoots much duller, much faster knives. Now then, as previously stated, not every single person that owns a firearm is clean or has a good record. Not every person that owns a firearm is mentally stable enough to know the consequences of firing it in a bad time. That doesn't mean, however, that we need to remove firearms from the rest of the population because a small handful doesn't know how to handle them or shouldn't be handling them to begin with. Besides, it's impossible, 100% impossible, to keep firearms out of the hands of people that want them. There's many ways. There's plenty of back routes. I, personally, know a couple people that shouldn't own firearms. Now, that doesn't, I'm not gonna tell who they are, though I don't like many of them. and I disagree with their choices, but I'm not going to oust them for their choices. That's up to them to get arrested. But as previously stated, it is impossible to keep firearms out of the hands of those that want them. So there is absolutely no reason to designate firearms specifically to the military and to the police. After all, one of the very first things Hitler did when instating Nazism was taking firearms away from the general public so they couldn't fight back. Firearms are an absolute necessary thing. If our privilege to own and fire these weapons is taken away, we can't stop things. If there's a shooter at a mall, you can't take him down. If your house is broken into, your children could be killed because the government took your opportunity to own one of these life-saving weapons. Sure, they're dangerous in the wrong hands, and I wouldn't suggest leaving it out where children can get a hold of it, but leave it unarmed, leave it unloaded, take the clip out, take the gun apart if you have to. Just own a gun. These here can save your life. There's absolutely no reason to be afraid of them. This gun, sitting here in my hands, is unloaded. Even if I put bullets in it and set it down in this chair, it can't hurt anyone. It can't do anything. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. There should be a requirement, a mental test, if you will, to ensure that you're capable of owning and operating one of these weapons.